we now have no, in effect, we're not using our legs. So we're only now using the torso and the 2 points on the bottom of your pelvis. So when you sit down, these points here, right on the pointy bits on the bottom here, here and here, these are called the ischia, or the 2 ischium. And they are settling onto your chair. So they, in effect, become your feet. So now we are crown and to the midpoint between the 2 ischiums. So those little sort of bony protrusions, you saw them there. The bits that get sore when you sit on a hard seat for a very long time. Okay, so your feet are on the ground. You definitely don't want to be on tiptoe here. This alters what happens to the small of your back. So if you go onto the ball of the foot now and just do this, you'll feel something else taking place in the small of your back. It's triggered something different in the fascia. So that's why you need the feet flat on the floor here, if possible. With no pressure on the ball or the heel, we're neutralizing the legs completely. We're taking them out of the picture. Okay, so we're breathing in through the nose and you breathe out through the nose. So we're going to use the out breath as the main release here. So you breathe in, and then when you breathe out, here's your avocado stone. It stops here on the chair. It's just here. We haven't got legs in it this time, so we've missed those out. And the shoot of the avocado stone, which grows downwards, is going to be the tip of your tailbone or the coccyx or something like that, or sort of like the perineum almost, actually, to be honest. And this, if we think of it in terms of the perineum, it'll starts to tie in with work we do on the center here. So you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out. And as you do that, on the out breath, you let everything settle. So always start from the settling point of view. Don't start from the releasing the spine. Don't start from there. Because if you think from nature, things fall on the ground, they settle in order to produce the new shoot, as with the avocado stone, but it's with everything, isn't it? So you settle down, that's got to happen first. You release those cable muscles either side of your spine, which go right up into your head here, into the skull, into the cranium. Well, into the skull, the lower skull, really more like behind your, if you just put your fingers behind your ears and then go towards the back of your head, so you've got 2 little bony protrusions there, mastoid processes, yep. It's kind of think of that as being the end of those cable muscles, or those as being the end of the cable muscles. So what I personally like to do when I do this, and I don't know if this helps or not, on the in-breath, I just settle everything. And when I want to relax, I relax in stages. And then ultimately you can just relax the whole thing. So I start relaxing down here. So the first bit I relax allows me to settle even more, which is down here. So there's your sacrum, the 2 halves, just keep doing it. So here's your sacrum on the skeleton, right? This bone here, right in the middle. That's the bit. You're sitting on the chair there, and the sacrum is the bit in the middle. This is the bit I relax first. And then gradually, I'd probably go, if I'm going to jump in stages, I would go to where my hand is at the moment, which is the small of my back. And then the next place, funnily enough, is between your shoulder blades here, where people tend to round their back. They push that upper back. I can't do that as much as some people can, but they push it backwards, actually probably too much. So you breathe in and you breathe out and you just release. So I guess I've got 4, if I'm doing the basics, I've got 4 places that I work on releasing during the out breath in order. 1 sacrum down there. That's the first thing. I let it go. Two, between the kidney area, between the kidneys, kidney area, the small of your back. Three, between the shoulder blades, up about breast height, I guess. Yeah, roughly there. And then four, I check what I'm doing with my neck and behind in the occiput here, that hollow at the back, I try and soften in there. And then I breathe in again. Yeah. So the in-breath is really, we need the in-breath, obviously, because otherwise we're finished. So we take the in-breath. We're not worried about doing anything particularly on the in-breath at the moment. This is just a separate, like, little exercise. We can do stuff with the in-breath later. But the out-breath, what we're really focusing on. So the in-breath is just to get us to the out-breath. So you do your in-breath and then the out-breath. You can start with the four stages, 3, 4, or you can just, if you're able to, and you will be able to, is feel each individual vertebra gradually. Places you cannot feel on your back generally are places which are numbed out a little bit, and where you've got tension permanently, possibly chronically. You're always so tense there that you can't release that, so therefore you can't feel it. In the same way, if you press something in your arm and really press hard for a long time, ultimately you stop feeling there. You actually have no sensation left anymore there. The nerves have been numbed out. So same with your back, same with anywhere on you really. Our aim, I guess, one of the aims is just to get your body so you can feel all over. There's nowhere particularly tense. You're not holding anywhere in the body. When you stop holding places in the body, the whole body it's this thing about the whole is greater than the sum of the parts again. When you're holding somewhere, the whole is possibly not greater than the sum of the parts because you're doing some holding in one particular place. So it's all kind of sort of, it's unable to release in that area. So therefore you're holding. I can't think how else to explain it. So there you are, releasing 4 places, or all the vertebrae if you like, all 33 of them. So when you release, some people feel this is like a ripple running up their spines. Sometimes you get a ripple, so something's actually literally moving up through the spine. Great. If you get it, use it. Observe it. Don't try and make it happen. Whatever you do, don't try and make it happen. The second you start trying is another form of stress, another form of tension. So you have to become a complete observer whilst undoing stuff. Very, very eloquent there. Now, what you'll find is that you can carry on doing this even on the in-breath. So even while you're breathing in, you can just let your pelvis really, really settle. And the out-breath's perhaps a little easier, simply because on the in-breath, the rib cage expands and operates on your spine. The ribs are on your back as well doing this. So you're getting a bit of activity from the rib cage on the in-breath. On the out-breath, everything's going to sink, so it's much easier, but you will find you can do it on the in-breath as well. It's really not that difficult. Now, before we finish, we're just going to attach one other concept to this. And that is, do you remember this when we did this, breathing in, open the bones in the hands? You don't need them. You don't need them. Oh, and you can if you want. You can just do this as well. But open the bones in the spine. So you feel, but bear in mind, the only way bones will separate is by releasing between them. Yeah. Or in the case of the spine, the cable muscles either side. So if you have a picture of your spine opening out in the same way your hands do, but this is obviously on the in breath, and then that's the out breath. So whatever works for you now. So remember, on an out breath, when we do this, you do not close the bones, you just hang the muscles, little hammocks. Do it on this particularly, because the in breath is much easier, in a sense, to feel, because there's an expansion going on in your chest. You feel like you're actually expanding generally. So you can use that, it's fine. But when you breathe out, don't let it close. Just release everything between all those vertebrae.